My name is Michael Garber. I'm from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. I moved to Salt Lake about 2 years ago um, to come to school at the University of Utah in their modern dance department. I'm also a yoga teacher, so I'm very inspired by the yoga community that's here. So I came to find more teachers and more people to practice and talk with about yoga and dance. I started a dance company this year when I got awarded the Artist in Residence title at Sugar Space. The company is called Michael Garber Dance Collective, MG Dance Collective for short. It's 5 members. We're working about twice a week now, a couple hours each day on a couple different sections to the show. I was living in New York for 5 years. I was in the urban jungle, if you will, for quite some time, and then moved back to the area that I grew up in, owned a dance studio for a while, and it was out in a really beautiful rural area. The mountains were beautiful, West Virginia and their mountains and meadows and green grass. But I still needed something that was in between both New York and West Virginia, that feel of city and nature as well. So moving to Salt Lake, I find such a beautiful balance between nature and city life and industry and wilderness. It's really beautiful. The salt flats are amazing. The sun setting over those perfectly white plains, all the colors that come with the sunsets of this valley are spectacular. Uh, Also the mountains and the seasonal changes that happen in the mountains. It can be very warm like it is today down here, but you can still see snow at the top of the mountains. I love the river. I love floating down the Weber River. It's a great way to spend a Sunday or a sunny afternoon. Um, but then be able to come down, back into the valley, into the center of it, to come into Salt Lake and be very close to wonderful restaurants and also nice parks and just happy people that are enjoying their sunshine in their valley. So this wonderful group of people that I'm constantly around, all these dancers, I'm primarily I know them most from the University of Utah in the Modern Dance Department. Um, but we have set up some really interesting habits for ourselves of finding ways to dance in this community. My friend Amy has this company called Porridge with Goldilocks, and we've had many different times and places that we've improvised. We were at the arts festival that happens down at the Gateway. So while people were walking around looking at the different installations and artisans, we were performing in the middle of the street. It was like 100 and something degrees that day, so you probably only had about 30 seconds worth of energy before the sun just beat you down. So there's alternating back and forth between soloists, if you will, and then running back to get water. Very hot that day. I would say even like 105, and then add the sun in. It's just, it's a lot of weight when you're trying to move around. We got dressed up in extravagant clothing. We tried to become our own little characters out of place with the norm of people. And then we went up to Sundance, rode the buses around, and we had this really beautiful moment. A friend of ours he's a pianist, and we went into the bus terminal in Park City, and he started playing the piano, this really old rustic piano, and we started dancing. And what ended up happening, it's caught on film actually, digital file of just this improvised dancing performance that happened. And we finished, it was beautiful, and all the people around us clapped, and just to have that power of being able to bring someone's attention to a certain moment. So there's a few friends of mine, we had just finished a workshop here in town. They were from out of town. I'd never met them before, so it was one of our first times hanging out. And we got to the concert, and we were dancing around, and a fight broke out. They had these guys that were in each other's faces, and they were ready to attack each other, and we decided we'd break the fight up with dance, and so we got in between the two guys that were fighting and just acted as if it was not even happening and just continued to enjoy the music and keep dancing, and the fight actually broke off. It's a really powerful moment for me to be able to use without having to yell back, without having to force people to stop. We were able to use our bodies to create an enjoyable atmosphere for everybody, including the people that were hot-headed and ready to go at it. Dance here is a little underappreciated. There's a lot of dance here, though. There's over 200 dance studios in the valley alone, but they might as well be worlds apart. I don't know how much interaction the dance community has with the dance community. I hear a lot about this is good, this is bad, they know what they're doing, they don't know what they're doing. I'm just wondering when we're going to stop looking at how different each group is and what they're doing with movement and figure out how we can move together regardless of how different each aesthetic choices between each group. So I think to do that is to get out into the community more, put dance in more places, bring more people to them. Not just dancers at dance shows, but bakers and grocery store clerks, and let's bring us all together with dance. But I think that the arts need to be freed from the prisons of their museums and from their theaters. I think we need to bring it back into the community. We need to have painters painting on sidewalks instead of crammed in their little studio. We need to have dancers practicing in the parks and musicians alongside them. Maybe painters too, everyone just getting back into their creative spirit and learning about themselves. And through learning about themselves, we learn about each other and create something together. I think we're all dancers, we're all moving. Every part of your being is in constant motion. Even as I sit here still, I have cells racing through my body and spinning in different ways. And I think that when we dance, we remember the truth of who we are. Maybe we have to dig a little deeper. Maybe when we start to move, we realize things about ourselves that we have been neglecting or not paying attention to. So I think it's important for all communities to have a dance community. I think it's been around, it being dance and movement, and celebration through movement has been around for as long as we have recorded history. And I think it's important for us to remind ourselves of that and to be in constant conscious movement with one another. I think that'll answer many of our problems and give us the tools that we need to continue building a strong community full of happy people that are full of possibility and hope. I think it's through our bodies that we do that, not necessarily through the gathering of information and knowledge and acquiring things and producing more. I think we need to see what's already here. And it's not even that I know that one of the purest ways of doing that is through the body.